You're watching NNN or New Nintendo New. But why is it on this side? New Nintendo News. Why is it on this side today? On today's show, I don't know if you knew this, Hollywood are making a live-action Streets of Rage adaptation movie, and it is going to be directed by the director of John Wick. Or is it written by the writer of John Wick? Anyway, we have a very small but quite interesting, a very small update on the Streets of Rage live adaptation movie. Oh my god! Moving on to our next story. Well, I don't even want to talk about this. It's just a segue into the story that I actually want to talk about. Yes, Nintendo have released 3 games, 3 virtual console games on the Nintendo Switch Online system. Yay! Update! Nintendo decided to give us 3 brand new titles from the Mega Drive Classics. Those titles are the original 1991 beat-em-up Streets of Rage. We've got the 1988 shooter Super Thunderblade and the 1990 side-scroller eSWAT City Under Siege. eSWAT. Now, I've not played any of these games apart from Streets of Rage! Oh my god! Streets of Rage is one of the best video games of all time. The soundtrack is phenomenal. Streets of Rage 4 was a comeback and a half. Streets of Rage, I love it. I love it. I was brought up with Streets of Rage, so I'm glad that I can play this on the Nintendo Switch. If you're really feeling generous, we'd love a port of Streets of Rage 3. Streets of Rage 1 to 4 on one system. For those that haven't played Streets of Rage, it is one of the best games ever. Go out and play it. Retro or the new Streets of Rage 4 edition. But that leads me nicely onto the next story that I want to talk about. We have an update, but it's a small update. Do you know what? To be honest, it's going to take 2 minutes for me to give you this news. But we actually have an update on the Streets of Rage live-action movie that is being produced in Hollywood. Yeah. Reading an article on Polygon, there's a little interview that they've had with 2 producers who were responsible for the creation of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
He is much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
They've also got their fingers in a lot of pies, and they're trying to mass produce a lot of video game adaptations in Hollywood. These 2 directors are from a production company called Story Kitchen. So there's just a quick article on here. I'm just gonna quickly read through it. I mean, it's very long. I'm just going to read a few parts from it, but it's all quite interesting. So it says, in recent years, Story Kitchen's Goldberg and Johnson, they're the 2 producers, have gone into overdrive, locking down movie and TV deals for adaptations based on Tomb Raider, It Takes Two, Streets of Rage, and Just Cause. I did not know they were doing a Just Cause movie. I've never played the video games. But anyway, in addition to those video games that I've just mentioned, they are also making a live adaptation version of Sifu. And I don't know what Dredge is. I've never played Dredge. Okay, so the interviewers asked the 2 producers, they've gone, in terms of approaching other Sega properties, what's that work been like for you in terms of adapting? I'm a Shinobi fan, but even I'm kind of wondering, what is a Shinobi movie? What is a Streets of Rage movie? It's a little harder to identify than that Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Now, yeah, Streets of Rage was just about people, police going around beating up some criminal syndicate. Some crime lords, I don't know, Mr. X. To be honest, I play video games, and if the story's not super compelling, I don't pay it. It doesn't stick in. But yeah, what would you make a movie of Streets of Rage about? I don't know. They've got a lot of work to do. They do have a lot of work to do. They'll have to figure it out. The thing that both Streets of Rage and Shinobi have in common is the soundtrack. I just remember thinking, these are so cinematic. These are actual movie scores. The fact that he's even recognising that Streets of Rage soundtrack is incredible, is very important. When we're making live action video game adaptations, it's very important that the people who are creating them understand what makes the video game special, what kind of essence they need to bring from the video games into the live action space. Now, the fact that you mentioned the music is very good, because everybody knows that Streets of Rage has the best video game soundtrack of all time. Hands down, top 5 video game soundtracks in the world. It's not up for debate. It's not up for debate. The Streets of Rage soundtrack was absolutely a technical marvel. It was groundbreaking. It was pioneering. Oh my god. I love every single song. Streets of Rage 1 and Streets of Rage 2. The music producer, I forgot his name, but he absolutely is an incredible genius. Anyway, I digress. The breakfast that I had this morning when Mike was on with Chad and Netflix was the potential director for Streets of Rage, and half of the conversation was about the music. It was as important as the action scenes are going to be. The music has to hit. I go back to the original Mortal Kombat film. From the first second the New Line logo comes out and you hear that Mortal Kombat! Now, that is amazing. The Mortal Kombat theme tune is sick. Anyway, you're just on a ride for the rest of the 90 minutes. I feel like we've got to do that with Streets of Rage and Shinobi. It's a different type of soundtrack, but equally important. Amazing. Get the original composer of the Streets of Rage games on this movie. That's what you need to do. Because like I said, the music is very important in the Streets of Rage franchise. It's arguably more important than the actual gameplay. Do you know what I mean? Streets of Rage isn't a Streets of Rage if it doesn't have that amazing techno, upbeat soundtrack, that pumping soundtrack. I'm glad that he's got his eye on that. I'm glad that he knows what's important about the movie, what's important about the video game, and what's important to the fans. Time will tell whether this will be any good. We don't know whether this movie is going to be any good. We don't know. It might not even come to fruition. You know what Hollywood's like. But hey ho! And that's all we have time for today. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this show. It was a bit of a mad one today. But hey ho, they can't all be sane and sensible. We will be back with another episode of NNN very soon. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week. We'll see you next week. Bye.